look at the first question from the 2016 March released STAAR test. First thing you'll notice is it's focusing on this table here. So the first thing we would look at is we'd see this table, and that's probably going to be our main focus. It does not excuse us from actually reading the problem, so we're going to go ahead and read the problem right now. It says 4 students are trying to raise the same amount of money for a class trip. The table below shows how much each student's goal has been met. This list shows the number of tables in order from least to greatest. So I'll just go ahead and highlight my important information. Alright, there's 4 students. Do we really care if they're fundraising? Not really, because when we read it down here, usually our last sentence is what they're asking. Now, it says least to greatest. It will not always say least to greatest. It could say greatest to least. That's why it's important to read the question. So now what we're going to notice is that it's each one of these. It says Chelsea has met 0.7 of her goal. Devin's met 2/3 of his goal. Wang has met 5/8 of his goal, and Marcella has met 65% of her goal, or 65% of her goal. Now, the easiest way to approach this problem is order it from least to greatest, like they've asked. Okay, you can represent it multiple ways, but first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to convert them all to decimals. Probably the easiest way, and yeah, it'd be probably the easiest way you could approach this. So we first put 0.7. The next is we have 2/3. Now, if you don't know 2/3 in decimal form, you can plug in your calculator and hit enter, but you will get 0.66. Repeat. Okay. Next thing is you're going to get 5/8. What you're going to do with 5/8 is plug in the calculator, and you're going to get 0.625. Now, next we have 65%. You're going to use your Dr. Pepper rule and go 2 to the left, and it's 0.65. Okay. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to label these, okay, from, let me fix that. You're going to label these from least to greatest. Okay, the first number, you could start with your greatest maybe, or maybe start with your least. Let's just do what they say. So what we're going to do is, first one is our least number. So I will put a 1 next to this. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is pick my second number. Then I'm going to pick my third greatest and my last greatest. Now, the thing is it was important to read that it said least to greatest. So when we look at each answer choice, we're going to start from A, work our way down to D, and figure out if we can eliminate some before we even put the answer. Okay, this is if you're running out of time, but the first question should be pretty easy, and just take your time and read the question. Now what we have here is we have 0.7, 65%, 5/8, 2/3. We can eliminate that because we know that 0.7 is the greatest number on the number line. So what we have next is we have 0.7, 5/8, 65%, and 2/3. Again, 0.7 is our largest number. We have 5/8, 65%, 2/3, and 0.7. We're going to look over here. 0.625 is our first number. That matches 5/8, correct. We're going to look at number 2 is 0.65, or 65%. That's number 2. And then 2/3 is 3. That's right. And then 0.7 is the answer. So good. So not even looking at D, we don't even have to worry about D. We know that answer is C. And that's the way you look at these problems, is you just make sure you read the whole problem. You're going to list, okay, and you're going to see a lot of these problems, and we'll go over some more. But it's very simple, and it's least to greatest. All right, and make sure and subscribe to Madrona Math. All right, thanks guys.